Over the past few days, I have seen so many videos popping up on my YouTube feed talking about strength. More specifically, whether you should or should not have it on your build. And I won't even sit here and lie to y'all, it is genuinely shocking how much misinformation is circulating around the topic of strength. You got one group of people saying it does not matter at all, and then you have an entire other group of people saying you need to finesse as much as you can without, losing too much of your other physicals. But who's right? Well, that is exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video by going over all of the pros of strength. That way you can decide for yourself if you need it for your playstyle or if you don't need it at all. But, if you're a big, yeah, I'm talking to you right there. If you are a big man and I catch you with a 25 strength, I am flying to your house, kicking down your door, and beating the shit out of you. You should not have no 25 strength trying to set screens. You have paper brick wall, and that shit is just not gonna cut it. Oh yeah, and one more thing before we start breaking things down, I do want to give a quick shout out to my boy Ryan Can't Miss, as well as Laker Fan. I watched both of their videos on strength, and those kind of inspired me to make this one. So I will leave the link to both of those in the description below if you want to check them out. But either way, let's get straight into it. So the very first thing I actually want to do here is head on over to the builder and just show you guys everything you get with a high strength rating in this game. You get brick wall, you get immovable enforcer, you get physical, you get strong handle, post powerhouse, and post lockdown. Out of those 6 badges, 4 of them are very good. All right, 4 of those badges, in my opinion, are extremely worth it. And those are brick wall, immovable, physical finisher, and strong handle. Well, maybe a little bit less so physical finisher because, layups aren't super meta in this game, but it is still a good badge nonetheless. But I want to point out something here that I've seen so many people say as to why strength is quote-unquote useless, and that is strong handle, all right? People think strong handle doesn't work on this game. That's not true. It just doesn't work like 2K25. And I'm even going to show you guys a live example that it does indeed work. So right here, I'm on my Zion Williamson build with Legend Strong Handle. What I'm going to go ahead and do for you guys is I am going to invite an AI to the my court just to show you guys that a lot of people are just simply not using the badge correctly. When you are attempting to use strong handle in this game, if you hold RT and run straight at somebody, the badge, well, sometimes it will work, but that's only because I started from a stop, all right? The badge, most of the time, is not going to work if you're just running into somebody. So let me curl around the corner and then run straight at him. You guys are going to see he stonewalls me. It doesn't work. You need to not hold turbo and move into the player, right? If I do that, you guys see how I'm just bumping him to the side and I'm getting a free dunk. People don't use the badge right, so then they claim strength, oh, it's useless, it doesn't work. You can't just sprint straight into people unless it's like out of the triple threat because you're starting from, a standstill point. Like, you have to walk into them to get the little animation to move them, and then you dunk, you lay up, whatever. And you know what, boys? Just because I know there's going to be some people questioning the legitimacy of that test in the comments, I'll hop on my two-way dual finishing diamond right here, which has a 73 strength, and we're going to +2 our strong handle to legend, right? So with a 73 strength legend strong handle, we're going to go against Cam Whitmore again. It should be the same as, the Zion build, right? Because strength doesn't matter. So as long as we have the badge on legend, we should be throwing him out the way just the same, right? Well, I mean, right there it kind of worked, but then he got straight back in front of me. We didn't get as good of an animation despite having the badge on the same level. And I'll even try it again for you guys right here. You guys are going to see we get some animations, but we're not getting the Zion animation where we just throw him out of the way. But like I said, we have strong handle at the same level. So what's really going on here? Well, the thing is, strength matters. It actually matters. Us having a 73 strength on this build, and then the Zion build having an 85, the 85 strength with the same badge tier, it allows us to throw people out of the way. And if strength didn't matter, it didn't do anything like everybody claims, I guess, in the community, then we would have got the same result. And honestly, that's kind of my biggest gripe with this whole debate. You got people who just don't understand how a badge works, so they just claim it's useless, and then they go on YouTube, they make a build video talking about, you guys do not need strength at all. It's useless. It's terrible. It's not going to do anything for you. But you can see direct examples of, cutoffs and blow-bys, especially with strong handle, where it matters. It makes a difference. And going back to the builder, I want to continue to point out some of the pros of having a high strength on your build. This one actually has nothing to do with any of the badges you guys can see on the screen right now. And that is dodging screens. Dodging screens and not getting hit as hard by them is directly affected by your strength. right? Some people miss that because they're like, oh, isn't that what pick dodger's for? Yes, pick dodger helps that, but strength also helps that as well. Those animations where you might get taken out of the entire play by a big screen, they don't happen as often if you have a decent strength to combat them. And if you don't believe me for whatever reason, you can take your ass over to random rec on a 25 strength player and then go in on, an 85 strength player, and you'll see a difference when you're trying to fight through screens, because that's another reality of the game. If you're somebody who's playing 2K and you don't have a full 5 to run with, you're probably playing modes like random rec. A lot of the time, you don't have the luxury of having, great players around you that are going to play good defense, hedge well, rotate. That is another issue I have with a lot of these YouTubers and their videos around strength. To be clear, this isn't to take a shot at Laker fan or anything, but in his video, he's talking about, oh, strength doesn't matter. For him, that's kind of right, because if he's playing with a full coordinated 5 stack that can, rotate well, do everything great on defense, and, in the pick and roll, they can just switch everything. Yeah, he doesn't need strength because he's not dodging any screens, but that isn't most people. The majority of people on 2K aren't loading up like, yeah, let me go in with my comp 5 stack. A lot of these people are just getting home from work, they're playing random rec, whatever it may be. They don't have the luxury of these perfect rotations, these amazing lineups. They can't get away with having a low strength. So if you're telling these people, oh, go in with a 50 strength or whatever, you're setting them up for failure. And of course, I don't think he meant anything ill by giving that suggestion, but it's like, sometimes you got to read the room. You got to know what you have access to as a very high tier player in 2K, because Laker fan, he's a great player. A lot of people don't have those same luxuries, and I feel like you have to kind of put yourself in their shoes. Otherwise, you're just not really getting the most fair and the most average perspective. I feel like looking at things through an average lens the best you can, that is kind of what's going to give you the best and most fair perspective. Now, I do want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because Laker fan was not entirely wrong when he said strength doesn't matter. It's just a situation where you have to know your role. If you're hopping on 2K every day and you have 4 other people that you're playing with that you know very well, you can make a build with no strength. Allow me to explain, right? If I'm playing something like a back-end power forward, right? Let's just go for a 6'7" power forward, max wingspan. Let's just put the weight up quite a bit, right? Here's the thing. Box outs in this game do not take strength into account at all, right? If I have, let's say I have a build, right? Or let's say I'm just testing this, in create a play or whatever, right? Let's say I am going against a player with Legend Box Out Beast and 25 strength in this scenario, right? And then I have 99 strength and no Box Out Beast. I will never be able to worm that guy, even though he has a 25 strength, because that's just how the game works. Box Out Beast, not only did it lose the strength requirement this year, from 2K25, it genuinely does not have anything to do with strength. So that is one thing, right? And if you're playing something like a back-end power forward where you're not going to have to dodge screens at all, because maybe, you have a small forward lockdown and then, a shooting guard lockdown playing that pick and roll. You have a very switchable lineup, whatever it is, because I know people run a lot of different things in this game. You could definitely get away with having no strength because you have the rebound to get those box outs, and you're not really going to be in any situation where you need strength. So in that scenario, yes, you can make a build with no strength. But once again, is that most people on this game? No, it isn't. Now, all that being said, I do think it's about time we reach a conclusion on strength. In my opinion, even if you are a guard on this game, the majority of people should have some level of strength. I'm not saying you need to go for, an 85 plus and spend a bunch of attributes there, because I know strength is somewhat expensive a lot of the time. Here's the thing though, a 73 strength on something like a point guard, for example, you are going to get gold strong handle, ensuring you're not going to get bullied and stonewalled all of the time, which is nice. And if you do go against somebody who has no strength on your build, well, you can do what I showed earlier. You can just left stick into them with strong handle, and you will throw that dude out of the way. I'm not exaggerating. If he has no strength, strong handle will work amazingly on him. But even beyond just strong handle, I mean, having a little bit of strength on a guard when you're playing something like random rec and you know you're not going to get the best help defense in the world, you want to be able to fight through some screens. With a 25 strength or whatever, obviously, it probably wouldn't be that low because it's going to get forced up by some other things. But you guys get it, with a super low strength, it's going to be hell. You do not want to be in that situation. And the worst part is, if you don't put strength on your build, and then let's say you want it later down the road, there's a good chance you won't have glitchy cap breakers on strength, right? You might be at like a 50, and these might be like +2, +3s, right? If I put +3 5 times on strength, that gets me to a 68, which is like okay, but it's not great. You know what I mean? It's not great at all. So I would just put it on your build to start with, so you don't have to worry about it in the future. You don't have to make a build, spend 370 KVC, and then you're sitting there like, God damn, I wasted 700 or 370 KVC. 700 KVC is crazy. If you do it twice, that might be on you, because you should have learned from the first time having no strength was getting you tossed around. So that being said, the best strength rating for every build is going to be a 73 for a ball handling guard. You know, if you're playing in randoms or whatever. Obviously, if you're in a coordinated 5-stack, you can change it up a little bit, right? If you're a 6'1 guard or something, you can probably get away with no strength. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average player. 73 strength is going to be very nice. If you're a lockdown, 71 or 72, very good to get that bronze immovable and bronze brick wall, although an 85 is also a really, really good sweet spot for locks. I wouldn't really spend more than that because it starts to get pretty expensive, and I think 85 is a nice sweet spot. Now, if you are a big man, things shake up a little bit. If you're something like, you know, a 6'9 popper, probably go for an 85 strength once again, so, you know, you're going to get things like gold immovable and silver brick wall and whatnot, which you can obviously +2 at 6'9 to Hall of Fame. You guys get it, right? Just go for, you know, a decent strength. That way you can still keep agility. So, you know, you can do your defensive responsibilities as the 4. But if you are a true center, you want to be setting big body screens. I mean, listen, 83 is serviceable. Don't get me wrong. But I think 91 plus is what you want to be shooting for. 91 at the minimum, you know, +2 that to legend for your brick wall, or, you know, 95 strength, get Hall of Fame. Even 99, if you really wanted, could be good. If you want to play in, you know, comp settings and whatnot, that 99 strength will help you. All right, it will definitely help you. You're gonna set big body screens. Believe me, I've played against it a lot in, you know, just even rec on my Amen Thompson build. Some people, when they set good screens and have a really high strength, and or even crasher takeover, because you do need I believe an 80 strength to get crasher. Maybe it's an 85. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, they hit. Those screens hit a lot more than somebody with just like a 73. Which 73, once again, it's serviceable. You can get away with that as a big man. You know, if you're trying to make a certain build, like a Giannis build, you want to be athletic. But at the end of the day, if you want to play at like a high level on a big man, you can't be skipping out on your strength. Now, that being said, though, boys, that is pretty much going to be everything that I have for today's video. If you did end up enjoying it and found it useful, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And also, you know, leave your boy a like and a comment. Let me know what you thought. Either way, I'll catch y'all on the next one. It's been Gravely. Peace.